Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome indeed. It is I, Jebro, and today I will be bringing you my first ever, I think, because I've been doing this for a while, engineer open world video where I use the Scrapper the most, because Scrapper is my fave, alright? It's my favorite, okay? It just is. But before we get into the build, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, whatever you want to do. Check out the Patreon, check out all the things. Don't forget as well, you can pre-purchase End of Dragons. You can also purchase any of the expansions in the links below. I'd appreciate if you take a look. And don't forget to, you know, leave me a little cheeky comment. How is the build? What do you use in open world in, you know, whatever maps you're farming, you know, whether it be all the stuff for the Dragon season of the Dragons achievements that are coming out at the moment, whether or not if it's just like back in the day core engineer, what did you use back then? What are you going to use in the future? What can you envisage using maybe in the End of Dragons expansion? Are you going to go in with Holosmith? First of all, are you going to go in with like Scrapper or even core engineer? Because core engineer is still a big favorite of mine class wise. I'm playing a lot of the time. So, what's the build? It is Scrapper, okay? Whether or not that is a boring thing to you or not is up to you. I've been playing it in PvP a hell of a lot and I really enjoy it. Basically, this build gives you a lot of stuff. It gives you stability, it gives you damage, it gives you quickness, of course, which means that skills and actions are faster. It gives you a lot of stability, like I said before, some super speed. It doesn't give you a lot of swiftness. Now the reason for this is because we get a ton of super speed. Okay, we've got 3 gyros, we've also got some other things which give us super speed as well, and a lot of the stuff in this build, you know, you're probably going to get bones and buffs from other players, as well as having mounts and stuff. So swiftness isn't a massive thing you have to worry about, other than if you're an event and you need to move in a smaller area and you want to get to places quicker, to tag more mobs, to get experience. I get that. But you've got a ton of super speed. And also, you can change bits and pieces of the build if you really want to and desire. But also, you can go for different kinds of runes. Don't forget, in the open world, there are a ton more runes available to you should you want to use them. At the moment, I'm going for more of a pack/scholar-esque type of build. Pack is pretty good because you can grant, as it says there, let's go and have a look at the 6th set. It gives you precision and you grant nearby allies 5 stacks of might, fury and swiftness for 8 seconds while in combat, and that's every 30 seconds. So whilst you are, you know, running about, you are getting some swiftness here and there with the pack runes. Obviously you can go for something like the traveler runes, which is really good. Sometimes I go around a lot with scholar just to increase my damage as well. But you know, traveler rune again increases your movement speed. Doesn't give you swiftness, it does increase your movement speed as you run around off of your mount, of course. So let's go through the build and let's go for all the utilities and everything else. First of all, as I said, I have legendary armor, okay? So Marauder stats, not too difficult to get. Also, you can go for Berserker if you really want to. I like to have a little bit more HP to buffer myself. Berserker you could go for, but I don't want to say go out there and get a ton of damage, because you just don't need to have a ton of damage when you're farming events, farming other, you know, and bosses and stuff like that. You want to stay alive and you want to tag the boss. You know, you're not just doing this to do the most damage you can. You're doing it to stay alive, and also to try and get out decent damage output is, you know, is important. But you want to be alive to actually hit the mobs while you're leveling, whilst you're going through content, and you're going to want to do that when you go into the next expansion as well. And this can be relevant for future expansions down the line, and this build will probably be relevant for a long time, unless they change the Flamethrower, to be honest. And the reason why I like this build is because Flamethrower tags a lot of mobs and you can get a lot of loot. It's a bit like the boomstick back in the day with Guardian, for example. So gear, what's the gear? Marauder, armor, pretty much. Then I chucked Marauder stats on my hammer, and this is going to be hammer as well. So I've got Sigil of Concentration, which is going to give me 10% extra boon duration, and then 5% extra damage with force. Again, the sigils can be interchangeable. I have a legendary, of course. That is the higher end stats compared to like exotic and everything else. Stat wise, you could go for Berserker, you could go for a Marauder, you could even go something a little bit more tanky in stats as well. Again, Marauder on my back piece, and then I've gone for more damage on my trinkets and whatnot as well, my other accessories and everything else, as well as putting just that plus 20% experience from kills, the experience enrichment slot on the amulet as well. That's just more for experience and stuff. Everyone's got the, you know, it just depends what you want to do. Okay, that's the enrichment slot, doesn't matter that much. And then I chuck power infusions on to do a little bit more damage where I can. There's a lot of World v World ones on there, for example, just older ones. That's the gear. And it's in really, you might be thinking, but isn't it Flamethrower like a power, like is it a power weapon, or is it like a Condi weapon? It does definitely do more power damage. There is obviously burning with the Flamethrower because it'd be ridiculous, but they changed it a long time ago to give you more power damage, like more benefit in that area. So let's have a look at the traits and see what's going on here. Firearms, you're going to have sharpshooter, so critical hits have a chance to cause bleeding. It's just a bit of an extra condition damage addition. High caliber, so you have an increased critical chance against foes within the range threshold. So that is 300. It's quite close. It's not like super close, but it's about, you know, the range of a flamethrower. It's not bad, is it? And then we are going to go over to Hematic Focus. So you have increased chance to critically strike against bleeding foes. So don't forget, that's what that's about. So having high crit is good to get them bleeding. Then you crit those foes who are bleeding. So if you have a little bit of bleeding in your build, it's not going to be the end of the world, you know? Ta-da! No scope. Critical hits on foes within the range threshold have a chance to grant Fury. And that's on top of your pack rune as well. So you could probably have a lot of Fury uptime. This is ICD of 8 seconds, okay? You're definitely going to have enough uptime on Fury. It's probably going to be pretty permanent. Which again is why, you know, sometimes I choose to go with Scholar, just because I think sometimes it might overlap. But, you know, you still get the swiftness as well from the pack rune. Serrated Steel, bleeding you inflict gains increased duration. If your opponent's bleeding more, I'm used to PvP too much. If your enemy is bleeding so much, you're going to be able to get more crits, more damage, etc. There's a lot of synergy in this line. It's very good. And then we are going to go to the final trait, which is going to be the Grandmaster Juggernaut. Gain might and stability while wielding a flamethrower. Might applied to you gains increased duration. So more duration on might, stability as well. Duration increase of 20%, and then we've got a little bit of boon duration as elsewhere in the build, and every 3 seconds. So that is going to be permanent. You can see at the moment I have got my flamethrower out, and I have got permanent stability. It is a maximum of 2 stacks, so that can get removed by hard CC, don't forget. But your might stays at 7 stacks, maximum 8 for like a mini second, and then backs back down if you're permanently in this. But don't forget, you have other ways to stack might, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Alchemy, let's go. Elixir B, quaff an elixir, gaining boons. Drink elixir B when struck while below the health threshold of 75%. This line is for your defense. It is to help you survive. It is a good one. So transmute, let's have a look at this adept. Drink a lesser elixir C when you reach a threshold of conditions affecting you, which is free. Did forget to go over to protection injection. I go over this line so much. You gain protection when you are disabled. Every 10 seconds, ICD. It's higher in PvP. It's very strong in PvE. Every 10 seconds is pretty damn good, especially when it is for 4 3/4 seconds. So that's a lot of protection if you're in heavy CC fights and various areas around Tyria, of course, as well as in raids and all the other things. If you ever want to have some kind of protection here, you can use it for, you know, healing builds and whatnot as well. Although you probably go for health endurance. Anyway, that's another build. Okay, calm down. Calm down. Okay. You get some barrier as well. Drinking elixir B when you struck below the health threshold. Gain barrier and protection. Again. Okay. It's pretty good. Survival. Lovely. ICD 40 seconds, a bit higher. Compounding chemicals. Heal yourself when you grant yourself a boon. Gain increased concentration. So again, you get more concentration, 240, increasing the length of your boons, and also every single time you grant yourself a boon, which is what you're doing all the time in this build because it happens so often, especially with the pack rune and with the stability stacks that keep refreshing, the might stacks that keep refreshing, and the other boons that you get from this build that do come up. Protection every so often as well. You're going to get healed. You're going to get protection. You're going to be protected. Okay. Iron Blooded. This can be changed. Okay. Reduce physical and condition damage for each boon you have. Most of the time you have at least 4 boons on you, so you're reducing damage by 8% minimum, probably higher than that from the amount of people around you. It's very, very nice for general all damage. And then you've got condition removal if you decide to go for a little bit more condition removal in your build, and you decide to go over towards elixirs, which will then change Scrapper a little bit more down here. We're going to keep it in the range of the gyros, of course. So you could go, for example, into Purge Gyro, and then you could use Purity of Purpose, which is really fantastic, converting those conditions into boons, of course. So, and for your allies as well. So you can support your team. Well, when I say team, I mean the people you're hanging around with in open world, I guess. And that's what Scrapper's about. Scrapper is about some support as well. Inherently, that's kind of what it has in the build. Function Gyro, is about rezzing allies and downing opponents. Here you're going to be using it a lot for super speed and getting quickness, as well as rezzing allies, which is what I do a lot of. Let's go over to Scrapper though. Function Gyro, you know what that is. You gain access to the Function Gyro, which replaces your tool belt for skill 5. Oh, I missed that. Having Elixir X, no mower, and not having that on top of it would have been lovely, eh? A little bit overpowered, but it's okay. We're going to get super speed in this build, and I will let you know why as well. You can pick up free targets or downstate free targets, depending on what's happening in that area at the time. When you chuck it out, so gyroscopic acceleration. Well, abilities have increased area effect and grant super speed to nearby allies. So obviously, this is what our gyros are. Bam. They're big wells now. So if you can just come back to the game as well, gyros are wells. That is exactly what they are. They have an increased area effect and grant super speed, and you'll see why that's important in a moment. So at 5 seconds of super speed, and then we go to speed of synergy. So using a heal skill grants super speed in a radius around you. Using a healing skills associated tool belt skill grants use personal super speed. So where are we going? So we've got this here. Bullet Gyro, then we've got the Blast Gyro, then we've got the Medic Gyro, gives super speed, then we've got Reconstruction Field, which gives super speed, and then you've got Bypass Coating, which gives super speed, and then you've also got the Function Gyro, which gives you super speed. Defense Field does not give you super speed, but that's a lot of super speed. You can also run with Sneak Gyro, you don't have to run with Mortar Kit. Mortar Kit is just a good addition for long range damage, as well as just, helping yourself out and getting some nice combos off as well, and just chucking out some extra healing from time to time. But use a healing skill, grant super speed in a radius around you. Using heal skill, associate tool belt skill will give you super speed, which is what this is essentially about. I kind of went off on one there, apologies about that. Object in motion, deal increased strike damage while you have stability, swiftness, or super speed. Wow, guess what? We're probably going to have that a lot of the time. This damage increase compounds for each boon you have as well. So damage per boon is 5%. If we have at least 2 boons up, which is what we do with Flamethrower, we're going to have 10% extra damage. This is pretty ridiculous. Let's keep going. Swiftness, beautiful. That's coming off the pack rune, and also just allies around us. We're getting the might, obviously, which is just increasing our damage anyway, and then we're just getting the stability permanently off of the Flamethrower. It just keeps popping up. It's just literally by having your Flamethrower out. Okay, you do need to have it equipped, basically, as in the kit kind of equipped right now. So if you got that, you're not getting that stability coming back all the might. If you have that, you are, basically. Impact Savant, a percentage of the strike damage you deal is converted into barrier. Your vitality is reduced. Now, you have got your vitality reduced by 1 at 80, but you've got about 50% of your health is going to be barrier. Okay? Ton of damage will have to be made to you to kill you. It's going to be difficult. And then you've got Bulwark Gyro, then you've got your heal, and you've got other ways to mitigate damage in this build as well, of course. And then you've got quickness to get these abilities out as fast as you possibly can with kinetic accelerators. Gain concentration based on your power. When you grant super speed to a target, also grant quickness as well. So you're not just giving yourself quickness, you're giving anyone around you, well, the 5 people around you, quickness. This is stacked to 5 people. It doesn't say it actually there, does it? It is 5 people. You gain concentration based on the percentage of power as well, which is pretty nice and was kind of added recently. And I believe they put the quickness from 3 to 4 seconds very recently as well. It's a strong trait. It's a strong Grandmaster, and he's used in raids right now as well, as also in PvP, depending on the position of where the scrapper is playing. Quickness is very strong. This ability also could be used. So you gain stability when you gain might at or above the health above the threshold, and might grants extra power. Remember, you're already getting the stability. The reason why I don't take this is because it takes away the quickness uptime in my build. Like, why would I take away the quickness? It's too good. And if I was going to go for this, I would just go for mass momentum. So gain might while you have stability. Your function gyro applies stability to allies when cast. So that's the variation I would go for this. If I was going to go for the applied force damage, I would then switch mass momentum and have the bottom 3 for this build. That's basically the build, okay? This is a very, very simple build to play. It's not difficult. If you just want to run around with your mates, kind of farm some mobs, play in some events, just chill and enjoy yourself in the game, it's really, really easy to play. There's variations of this that you can play in PvP. You can also play this in World v World. It's been fun for me to play that. I've played variations of this in World v World. You need another stun break because there's only one here for which has got a 30-second cooldown. But if we think about the different weapons and the combo fields as well that you can get swiftness from, if you don't, the pack rune as well, you can blast your thunderclap, which is a lightning field, and give yourself a ton of swiftness. That's about 15 seconds or so. Then if you're in combat, you get the pack proc as well, which we were talking about before. If we have a look here, you're going to be able to get some more swiftness on the 6th piece where it says while in combat, 8 seconds. You know, there's another 12 seconds or so there as well. It's pretty good. We're getting messaged about stuff as well in game. This is what happens sometimes. But if you want to try this build, I would suggest you do so, because there's lots and lots of fun to be had. There's also Shock Shield, really, really good way to block attacks, inflicts vulnerability. Rocket Charge, you evade an attack, and then also is your combo leap finisher as well. You can Electro well. The damage is good. It's a combo finisher, and it reflects missiles coming in from enemies as well. This is fantastic in like Heart of Thorns content, because there's a ton of missiles there, as well as Path of Fire. Actually, there's a ton there as well. Even in the core game, if you just want to hang out in those maps. Then we've got going over towards the Magic Gyro. Don't forget you're getting a lot of super speed, and don't forget as well that you can blast these fields. That's a water field, okay? And now you know what the fields look like. Because the blue area, oh my god, it's so good. It's water, you know, same color as water. It's blue. It's lovely. Okay, healing, brilliant. You can blast that now. Flamethrower is very awesome as well. Don't forget you can stack might. You can use your fire field there, hit it with the second ability. You're going to be able to get that blast. You're going to get that extra might. You can also use, don't forget, your rocket charge for it. You can get the fire aura, which is going to give you more might when you hit things. You're going to be able to get also, let's just quickly use this here. Big knockback here from Air Blast, gives you a little bit of burning. Big knockback as well, and is your CC on CC bars. This is also going to be your CC, the blast gyro on utilities, but don't forget about the smoke vent, which is also going to be a big, massive AoE blind on 5 targets. Good times, okay? Good times. Just there's so many different combinations you can come out with here. Obviously, bulwark gyro just deploys the gyro, which gives you that barrier. It's beautiful. It is as well. Guess what? A lightning field. Yes, it is. So you can get even more swiftness, everyone. Even more swiftness. Okay. You could use it even just to get some swiftness if you're lacking some speed around the map, you're not hating anything and you just want to run around. You could actually pop that out, use that, then you know, no time at all. Bulwark gyro is back up. Blast gyro, and also you've got super speed when you use it as well, so don't forget that. And that already, do you see what I mean by, you know, not necessarily needing to run some swiftness permanently elsewhere in your build? You've already got it built in. You're an engineer. You're a jack of all trades. You're a master of flipping all of them. All right, you just are. It's just the way it is. Blast gyro is your big CC as well, don't forget, and also is a fire field which you can blast. Oh, good. Wow, more might. That's nice. It's good. So Mortar Kit as well. Don't forget that you have a ton of fields here as well, which can give you defense, area condition removal as well. Loads of different combo fields, and obviously you can go and have a look at all the combo fields that Mortar Kit can help you with. There's so many. There's AoE weakness. There's the aura, which gives you, you know, more defense. There's the AoE healing, of course. I can't show them all off because I cooldowns, you know. There's a lot, people. I'm not going to show every single blooming thing, okay? But I can do, and I will do in future, because there is going to be a Mortar Kit guide coming out in the near future. Look at that. I'm not going to spoil it by doing it now, okay? I'm sorry. I'm just am. As you've seen here with the build, it's very strong at just running around maps, tagging enemies, having a ton of fun, very, very survivable, as well as putting out a lot of damage. And to be honest, I don't go down much in this build. I just don't. And you can come and watch me play out on stream. I'm literally playing on twitch.tv/JebroUnity most of the time when I'm doing PvE content and having fun. It's got what I need. Sometimes I'll switch bits and bobs out depending on what the situation is. And you should always be doing that. You shouldn't just be playing the same thing all the time. Literally change out a utility if you need to. Change bits and bobs. Adapt your build. Learn things. Use new utilities, new kits on your engineer that you've never used before. Get used to them, because sometimes they become powerful. And guess what has become powerful? The Flamethrower. That's right. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one. Let me know if you enjoyed this open world build video. And if you want to see more in the future, I kind of want to check out the core engineer, because it's pretty damn good in open world as well, because you can use Flamethrower as well, but you won't have the quickness. Maybe we'll use grenades. Who knows? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.